wait for it.
These Bigfoot encounters include some of the clearest and strangest evidence yet. One photo may show a 9-foot figure carrying something white, while another video reveals a face hidden deep in the brush. But does clear footage actually bring us closer to the truth? On July 25th, 2026, two friends traveled to Chinook Pass in Washington State, a high mountain area in the Cascade Range. While looking across a lake, one of them noticed something unusual moving on the opposite side. Using an iPhone, they zoomed in and recorded a large, dark, two-legged figure walking near the shoreline. Its arms swung as it moved, and its body appeared tall and broad compared with a normal person. The uploader had mostly used her Instagram for everyday photos and videos, and had not posted about Bigfoot or cryptids before this. Chinook Pass has also been linked to Bigfoot reports for decades, and is surrounded by miles of rugged wilderness. The video has a known date, location, and uploader, but the figure is still too far away to identify clearly. So what do you think was walking across the lake that day? On December 19th, 2022, James West uploaded a short video recorded in the snowy Appalachian Mountains. His YouTube channel features personal outdoor clips and unusual sightings. In the video, James walks towards several buildings near the woods after hearing loud, strange noises coming from somewhere ahead.
I'm walking up my driveway for a few minutes now. I've been walking in the woods. I'm hearing really loud and weird noises. I feel like it could be Bigfoot. I am on the Appalachian Trail right now. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to get evidence of this. I'm gonna ease into that barn house up there.
As he moves closer, a dark figure suddenly appears in the distance near the buildings. It is visible for only a few seconds, making its size and shape difficult to judge. The moment James notices it, he immediately reacts in fear and turns to run.
I was hearing the noises up there. I feel like... Oh my God!
The camera shakes and points toward the snowy ground as James quickly leaves the area. The clip ends without a closer look at the figure or any clear physical evidence of what was there. Some viewers who slowed the footage to 0.25 speed believed the figure looked unusually tall with long arms. Others thought it was simply a person dressed in dark clothing. So what do you think James actually saw in the Appalachian Mountains? What if two trail cameras captured the same strange figure near your home? That is what one North Carolina family claims happened. On July 15th, 2026, a trail camera near the family's back porch captured a dark, crouching figure. The family had already contacted Squatch watchers saying they had experienced possible Bigfoot activity for several weeks. The bushes in the center also appeared more clear than the surrounding vegetation. A second trail camera placed in the woods across the river later captured a similar figure. Squatch watchers said they were preparing to visit the North Carolina location and investigate the area. With two images from different cameras, do you think this could be Bigfoot, or is there a more ordinary explanation? The footage was shared on Reddit by a user named True Cryptozoology. The caption claims it shows a skinwalker shapeshifting in the middle of the night. In the blurry video, a small animal-like shape moves towards some bushes. Moments later, a human figure appears and walks away, making it seem like one form changed into another. Many viewers were skeptical. Some believed it was simply a dog running toward a person hidden near the bushes. Others blamed the strange effect on poor video quality, compression, or editing. So is this really something unexplained, or just two ordinary subjects captured at the wrong moment? The next video comes from the YouTube channel Curious Conundrums Mysteries Unveiled, and was uploaded on July 20, 2026. According to the uploader, an equipment operator was clearing trails for the National Park Wildlife Corridor when a large dark figure suddenly appeared nearby. The upright figure seemed to be watching him work, and the footage was captured by the corridor's stationary webcams. The figure remains in the background, shifting slightly from side to side. The uploader suggests the sound of the machinery may have drawn its attention, although that cannot be confirmed. What stands out most is its size. The figure appears unusually tall and broad compared with its surroundings. The footage ends soon afterward without showing where it went. So, was this simply a person or animal seen from a difficult angle, or did the webcam capture something genuinely unusual? A man using the online name BigHomieCC shared 2 previously unreleased Bigfoot photos on June 17, 2026. One image was taken by him in Oregon, while the other came from a trail camera in Oklahoma.
Now, Bob, I took this 2015 in Oregon. Who was that running through the field right there? And I got more footage, bro. Whatever people told me about, I go out and investigate. So I'm finna show you that never even hit the internet before. You ready for some more?
I'm ready.
So look, you see dude right there?
The first photo shows a light brown hairy figure walking through a clearing in the woods. BigHomieCC says he took the picture in Oregon in 2015. Based on his own height comparison, he estimated the figure was around 9 feet tall or more. He also said the white object in its hand looked like a rabbit. The second image came from a trail camera deep in the Oklahoma woods. Cats close to the camera may have triggered the sensor, while a much larger dark figure appeared farther in the background.
Now, this photo is from a lady's trail camera in Oklahoma. I went and stood in the exact same spot.
BigHomieCC compared its size to King Kong, but the distance makes its true size difficult to confirm. What do you think these 2 photos actually captured? In January 2026, a TikTok creator known as Jules with Tools posted a clip from her rural Vermont property. What began as a normal moment outside quickly became something much harder to explain. The video starts with her loading firewood and casually speaking to the camera. Then she looks toward the tree line and her reaction changes.
Okay, no fucking joke. I'm loading up wood and I look up and this is what I see.
Standing between the trees is a tall, dark, bulky figure with what appears to be a large head. It stays still among the trunks, giving the impression that it may be watching from a distance.
Wait for it. Why does it look like a goddamn Yeti? Anybody? Because it's real tall.
The clip quickly gained hundreds of thousands of likes, tens of thousands of comments, and was later reposted across YouTube and Instagram as a possible Bigfoot encounter. After noticing how tall the figure appears, she decides to head back inside. Vermont has also been linked to reports of large dark humanoid figures in wooded areas. Without a clear size reference, distant figures between trees can appear larger or differently shaped than they really are. Was this a person and animal, or something viewers still cannot explain? What would you think if you spotted a large hairy figure sitting quietly against a tree? This alleged Bigfoot sighting from near Lawton, Oklahoma has caused plenty of debate because the footage appears clearer than many similar clips. The video shows a large hairy figure sitting beside a tree in the woods. It does not run or try to hide. Instead, it remains there while the camera records it. The person who captured the footage later described the experience as the scariest moment of their life. Its size, posture, and movement quickly became the focus of online discussion. Some viewers believe the figure could be Sasquatch, while others think it may simply be someone wearing an elaborate costume. The location has also drawn attention. Lawton is a military town near Fort Sill, which has added even more speculation around the clip. Without a clear object beside the figure for scale, its true size is difficult to judge from video alone. Could this be Bigfoot, a person in costume, or simply a strange perspective caught on camera? A first responder in Alberta, Canada, was traveling along the North Saskatchewan River toward a GPS location for a medical emergency. He was moving quickly by ATV and focused on reaching the person who needed help. As he followed the trail, he noticed something unusual standing near the trees. A tall, dark figure was upright beside the path, watching from a distance. It did not move toward him or make any obvious sound. The The responder continued past it and stayed focused on the emergency. Stories from some Native American traditions describe mysterious forest beings that are sometimes connected with modern Bigfoot legends. In some versions, these beings are said to remain peaceful when respected and may act like watchers or protectors of the land. Other stories warn people not to disturb them because they are rarely believed to be alone. The responder never stopped to investigate, so the figure was never identified. It simply remained near the trail as the ATV passed. Was it a person, a large animal standing upright, or something silently watching over that part of the river? This 2017 clip, recorded by a security camera at Dangerfield State Park, is interesting, but still leaves plenty of questions. The footage shows a dark figure walking through the area, but with no clear objects nearby. For a comparison, its actual height and stride are difficult to judge. The most noticeable detail is the way the figure moves. Its walk looks somewhat exaggerated and unnatural, almost like someone deliberately trying to imitate a Bigfoot-like stride. That has made some viewers question whether the sighting was staged. There's another reason for skepticism. Dangerfield State Park had previously hosted a Bigfoot-themed festival, raising the possibility that the footage could have been connected to a prank or staged event. What do you think, genuine sighting or someone playing along with the Bigfoot theme? One of the most famous Bigfoot footprint cases happened near the small town of Bossburg, Washington, in 1969. What made the discovery stand out was not only the footprints, but also the amount of evidence investigators were able to document. The tracks were photographed, carefully measured, and preserved in plaster casts. This allowed researchers to study them even after the original prints disappeared. The trail contained many footprints that appeared to come from a large creature walking on two legs. The strangest detail was one foot, which seemed injured or deformed. As the trackway continued, the same unusual shape appeared again and again. Because of this repeated feature, the unknown track maker became known as Cripple Foot. Supporters argued that the long trail and repeated deformity looked more like a natural walking pattern than a simple set of fake footprints. They also pointed to the photograph's measurements and plaster casts as reasons the case remained difficult to explain. More than 50 years later, the casts are still part of Bigfoot history and continued to be debated. Are the footprints in Bossburg a sophisticated hoax or evidence of something far more sinister? This footage gives viewers an unusually close look at a figure claimed to be Bigfoot. The video was recorded on June 5, 2026. It shows a dark Sasquatch-like figure partly hidden behind thick vegetation. As the camera zooms closer, its face becomes much easier to see.
Check this video out, y'all. Clear footage of a 12-foot Sasquatch. Look at him right there. Look at that eyebrow ridge, it's just amazing. Look at that.
According to the uploader, the figure was estimated to be around 12 feet tall. The face appears to have dark human-like eyes, a heavy brow ridge, a wide nose, and rough-looking skin. The footage has also drawn attention because the figure blends closely with the surrounding plants. Its dark fur makes it difficult to notice at first. If it had remained completely still, the hiker might have passed without seeing it. The exact location was not provided, although the footage was said to have been recorded somewhere in North America. Light falls directly across the figure's face, making several facial features easier to examine. Some viewers believe the detail looks more natural than typical AI-generated clips, although the footage alone cannot prove how it was created. Vegetation and perspective can make a hidden figure look much larger without a clear size reference. Does this clip show an unusually convincing Bigfoot encounter? Or is there another explanation for what the hiker recorded? A couple from Valley Idaho went shooting in the countryside.
Nice shot. Let's see that again. What? What the hell?
Farther ahead, a dark figure appeared between the trees. It walked upright and looked tall and broad, covered in dark fur or clothing. Unlike a bear, it remained on two legs with long arms swinging as it moved. Its pace was slow and steady. The figure could be a person, a hoax, or something misidentified, but its shape and movement still raise questions. What do you think they captured? One hiker may have recorded exactly that during a short break. While hiking, the man stopped to eat and reached into his backpack for food. Without realizing it, his camera captured something strange in the upper right corner of the frame.
Oh, well. Yeah, did you see the big tree break over there?
It's a good snap.
A dark, solid figure can be seen standing in the distance. Its shape does not clearly match the surrounding trees, and it appears to move slightly. The hiker never noticed it at the time, so he did not turn the camera toward it for a closer look. From far away, shadows and tree shapes can sometimes resemble a person, especially when details are unclear. But if the figure really moved what was standing there while the hiker remained completely unaware. This strange Bigfoot footage from Florida was highlighted on May 26, 2026. The video follows a man exploring several miles into the forest. When he comes across a large structure that looks like some kind of nest, he begins filming it first, showing the outside before carefully moving inside to see what is there.
Alright, this is the nest. I'm about to climb inside of it to take a long infrared camera to be able to see on the inside of it. So here we go.
Near the very back, something dark appears to be hiding in the shadows. When the camera zooms toward the right corner, a dark hair-covered shape becomes visible. Its face also seems to reflect light, making a few features easier to notice.
Oh, wait a minute, there's something black back there. Oh, there's something black back there. It's moving.
It's moving?
Yeah, it's moving.
You might want to,
I think I'll back out.
I think that'd be a good idea.
At first, the figure stays almost completely still, but the explorer says he begins to notice movement near the end of the recording. He then believes the figure is looking directly at him, so he decides to back away and leave the structure. It is difficult to tell what was actually hiding there. From the limited view, the shape appears somewhat humanoid and has features that some viewers might associate with Bigfoot. The size of the structure also raises another question. What kind of known animal in North America would build or use something this large? Because the footage was recorded in Florida, some viewers have connected the figure to the legendary skunk ape, often described as the local version of Sasquatch. Witness reports usually describe the skunk ape as a large, hairy ape-like creature that walks on two legs. Estimates often place it between 6 and 8 feet tall, with broad shoulders, long arms, and dark reddish-brown or black fur. One feature that makes skunk ape reports different from many other Bigfoot stories is the strong odor witnesses often described during encounters. The video does not provide enough detail to confirm what the explorer found inside the structure. It could have been a known animal, an unusual shadow, or something else hidden deep in the corner. So was this really a skunk ape inside a large nest? Or did the darkness make an ordinary animal look far more mysterious? On August 1st, 2026, Cam Prime posted a solo car camping journey recorded in a secluded forest in Japan. The channel centers on sleeping inside vehicles, cooking outdoors, and trips through remote places occasionally connected to unusual creatures and Bigfoot legends. Initially, the campsite appeared quiet, but once darkness covered the trees, a strange howl, a powerful animal smell, and an unexplained mark on the vehicle raised disturbing questions about what might have been nearby. As the camper travels farther into the isolated forest, the calm surroundings begin to feel unsettling. The road remains silent, but he cannot escape the sense that something could be observing him from behind the trees. Soft noises drift through the brush and blend with the wind moving between the branches. Nothing clearly comes into view, but the feeling of an unseen presence continues.
you.お、完璧だねこれ。完璧じゃない？おー、完璧。イエーイ。じゃあ、乾杯。ああ、うまい。うわ、半熟じゃんこれ。マジかよ。うまそう。うまそう。いただきます。うまっ。
He arrives at the campsite and gets the vehicle ready before darkness completely settles over the forest. The evening proceeds normally while he prepares dinner and gets comfortable inside. Still, the dense woods around the car make the campsite seem cut off. While sitting alone inside the vehicle, the uneasy sensation returns. Quiet sounds appear to come from beyond the windows, hidden by the movement of the wind. He cannot determine where they originate, but the darkness outside seems much closer than earlier.
It is possible that some of these could be wild humans. There was a on each other. It's just what we do. So when Jerry sees these prints, he's assuming that the guys are pulling his leg.
It was found nearby in a gully, but it had these giant human-like footprints nearby.
To a ditch. And what is around it? Track. Given the size of the footprint, there are people who really saw something and they really want answers that could possibly find those answers. Once everybody thinks Bigfoot is made up, though, they stop taking the search seriously. That original Humboldt Times story from 1958 is never officially debunked. That is, until investigate. So the LA Times, New York Times, they all show up because they want a piece of Bigfoot.
The whole country is buzzing about this. Everyone has an opinion. What the film shows us is a massive bipedal creature. It's covered head to toe in this sort of silvery brown fur.
It also appears to have mammary glands. Gill and Patterson theorized that they're looking at a female Bigfoot. They nickname her Patty after Roger Patterson.
To occupy himself, he starts watching a documentary about Bigfoot and other mysterious creatures. The topic fits the old stories associated with the forest, causing the silence outside to feel even more noticeable. Then a long howl travels through the trees. The sound spreads across the forest and disrupts the calm inside the vehicle. He listens uncertain about what could have made it. A wolf seems unlikely because wild wolves have long been regarded as extinct in Japan. That leaves the origin of the howl uncertain. Instead of remaining inside, he puts on a headlamp and heads in the direction where the sound came from. As he enters the darkness, a strong animal smell reaches him. The odor is intense and nearby, suggesting that something may have passed through the area recently. When he looks down, he sees faint tracks on the ground. Their shape is difficult to make out, and he cannot determine what created them. With the howl still fresh in his thoughts and the odor around him, he decides that continuing farther would be unsafe. He quickly heads back toward the vehicle. He locks himself inside and attempts to sleep. No creature appears, and the rest of the night seems quiet. However, no camera is recording the area outside the car. The following morning, he steps outside and finds a broad muddy smear along the side of the vehicle. The mark appears as though a large hand or body may have brushed against or hit the car during the night. He never heard or witnessed what caused it, leaving one unsettling possibility. Whatever produced the howl may have followed him back to the campsite. A wild animal might account for the howl odor tracks and mud. However, viewers wondered whether the mark was a territorial warning from something larger. What approached the vehicle during the night, and why was nothing recorded outside? Far inside the remote woodlands of rural Pennsylvania, two teenagers noticed something between the trees that stopped them in fear. A short phone video captured a dark shape neither boy could fully identify. The story was posted on Reddit by Lucas, a 15-year-old, who recorded the encounter while exploring with his friend Gavin. The unstable zoom footage peers through a thick wall of trees. Moments before filming, the boys detected a sudden rotten smell in the air. When Lucas pointed his phone toward the brush, a huge dark figure could be seen crouching low behind the branches. It appeared to watch them directly. Near the end, the figure stood up into a tall, human-like position. It then moved rapidly farther into the woods and vanished. Lucas and Gavin stayed quiet, too scared to respond. Later, they wondered if it might have been a bear or another person, but its size and human-like motion made them believe they had wandered into Sasquatch territory. Even so, limited visibility could have affected what they saw. Was it an animal, a person, or something unknown? A hunter captured footage that would be studied for years. Partly concealed by dense branches, an enormous dark figure seemed to be ripping apart a tree until one abrupt movement sent the cameraman running. Filmed by Josh Highcliffe in October 2013, the clip later became widely known as the Mississippi Skunk Ape video. The encounter starts with Highcliffe moving cautiously through a flooded swamp while looking for game. The quiet suddenly ends when loud repeated impacts come from nearby. Highcliffe pauses after realizing that something large is moving vegetation directly ahead. When he points his camera through the branches, a huge black figure can be seen standing near the bottom of a cypress tree. The figure seems to pull sizable chunks of wood from the trunk. Its arms move with slow, powerful motions that suggest strength. As its upper body shifts, the recording appears to show a broad chest, unusually long arms, and a heavy layer of dark hair. Highcliffe stays close while filming behind thick vegetation. The encounter grows more concerning when the figure starts changing its position, appearing as if it may be getting ready to stand upright. As the body moves, its apparent height and muscular build become clearer between the branches. Frightened by what he sees, Highcliffe ends. The recording turns away and runs through the swamp to leave the area. The Mississippi video has interested Bigfoot researchers for years, although the figure has never been identified. Thick vegetation and zoom could affect its apparent size. Was it a bear, an unidentified primate, or something different? The video was posted through BigfootReport.com, run by Taser Media, a channel that gathers and reviews raw Bigfoot footage submitted by witnesses across North America. The camera is positioned low in a wooded backyard, facing dense vegetation beyond the grass. Palmetto-like plants and heavy growth restrict visibility. Nobody is monitoring the footage live, and nothing unusual is expected to appear from the trees. Then an opening in the vegetation suddenly changes. A dark, upright figure moves across it with a smooth, controlled stride that does not seem to match an animal traveling on 4 legs. Before anyone can respond, the figure vanishes back into the brush. It soon appears again. This time, a dark mass seems to be held against its body, altering its balance as it moves quickly along the yard's edge. The figure appears intent on reaching cover before anyone sees it clearly. The recording is then slowed and enlarged. Frame by frame, viewers study its broad shoulders, loose rolling gait, and how its weight moves from one side to the other. It stays visible in the opening for nearly 30 seconds before disappearing into the vegetation once more. A pale area on the figure's chest caused some viewers to believe it was carrying something, although it may have been reflected light. Without a clear angle, the question remains: was it holding an object, or was it simply a camera illusion? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.